Roman treasure. The Romans ruled most of Europe more than 1600 years ago. They also ruled many other land. They came for a big city called Rome in Italy. Today we can still find things which the Rome made or used. People find the remain of Rome's walls and buildings. They sometimes dig up old gold pottery, jar and rings and brooches. These help us to understand how the Romans lived. Pont du Gard in French. The man scrapes away earth in a town called Bordeaux in France. Under it, he finds a beautiful floor. It dates back to Roman times. Find out. In Italy, there is a volcano called Vesuvius. It erupted in 790 C. There was a big explosion which buried the town of Pompeii under ashes and stones. Many people died because of the Vesuvius erupting volcano. Hundreds of years later, people cleared away the earth and rock. They could see the Rome's houses and streets. There were shops, gardens, markets, and streets. People found pots and pans and even leftover food. They were fine statues, musician, instrument, jewelry and coins. The barking dog. At the entrance to one house, there was a picture of a fierce dog on a chain. Underneath were words meaning beware of the dog. Everyone could see for themselves how the Romans used to live. Here are the ruins of Pompeii today. Rome and its empire. More than 2700 years ago, Rome was just a few villages built on hills near the river Tiber. The village joined up to make a town. Then the town became a city. The city grew until Rome was the biggest city in the world. About 1 million people lived there. The Romans sent armies to conquer other lands. Spain, France, Britain, and part of Germany were all ruled by the Romans. The Romans ruled Romania, Greece, West Asia, and North Africa too. These countries made up the Roman Empire. The Wolf and the Twins. And old Moti said that 2 baby boys called Romulus and Remus were left by the river Tiber. A wolf looked after them. When Romulus grew up, he became the first king of Rome. The Romans built roads all over the empire. Buying and selling. The Romans were great traders. They used coins made of gold, silver, bronze, and copper. At Roman ports, ships were loaded with pottery and cloth. There were sacks of grain, jar of wine or olive oil. Traders argued over prices. This Roman jar held wine or oil. Roman coins. The Roman bought and sold people too. They owned slaves. These people had no freedom and had to work hard for no money. Every Roman city had a place called the Forum. People met here to do business around it. Were markets and shops. Gods and temples. The Roman believed in many different gods. Jupiter was the most important one. He was god of the sky. People believed that if they were bad, Jupiter might throw a thunderbolt at them. Other gods looked after different areas of life, such as war or love of the sea. Some of the gods are Jupiter, Juno, Dana, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Neptune. The Romans built temples for their gods and held festivals. The festival of Saturn was in the winter. People lit candles, had big feasts, and gave presents. A temple in France, a monster dog. Romans' myths are full of monsters. Cerberus was a dog with 3 heads. He stopped dead people escaping into worlds of the living. At home, Romans believed that their houses were protected by gods and spirits. They made offering to them every day. There were many sort of houses in the biggest city, such as Rome or Austria. There were blocks of flats. Many towns had family house with an open courtyard and pools of water. The roofs were made of tiles and the small windows had shutters. In the country, rich people owned big houses called villas. Some had fine wall painting or floors decorated with mosaics. These were pictures made from small colored stone or tiles. This grand Roman houses had lots of rooms, a garden and a courtyard. Food and feast. In the kitchen, slaves carried water and firewood. Pots and pans boiled on brick stove. Cooks used olive oil, herbs and spices. A main dish might be pork, fish or chicken. There were onion, peas and cabbage, as well as figs and grapes. The Romans used honey to sweeten their food and drinks. People do not eat much for breakfast or lunch. The main meal of the day was dinner. Some rich people held banquets where everyone ate too much. Guests laid on couches and ate from a low table using their finger and knife. Feeling hungry, guests or a banquet might eat mice cooked in honey, snails in wine, dumplings made with brains, or even boiled oysters. Getting dressed. A Roman lady might spend a lot of time getting ready in the morning. She puts on a long tunic and then a woolen dress called a stola on top. She uses perfume, a jar of makeup, curled hair, and pile in the latest hairstyle. She tries on earrings and necklaces, then looks at herself in a mirror made of polished metal. Pretty poison. Roman ladies like to look pale. They make up their face with chalk and white lead. Lead was poisonous and could make them ill. Emerald and gold earring. Children, slaves, and working people all wore short tunics. Important men wore a heavy white robe called a toga. They wrapped it around themselves and then over one shoulder. Thrill and sprills. Rome loved watching chariots racing at a big track in Rome called the Circus Maximum. These were fast and very exciting. Sometimes the chariots crashed. Romans also went to a big stadium called the Colosseum. Here they watched slaves and gladiatory battle with each other until one was dead. Exciting cities had an open-air treat. The seats were made of stones and arranged in a semicircle around the stage. The actors wore masks. Most Romans liked funny plays, but they were sad plays. Going to baths. Every Roman town has public baths for men and women. Romans went there every day to meet their friends and relax. They often started with some exercise or games. Then they would try the pool, the hot tubs, the cold tubs and steamed rooms. They might have a message. The Rome built bathhouse at court villas and army forts. We can see Rome's Bath today at a city called Bath in England. The Romans bathed in Bath. Baths in Bath. Cleanup. Romans did not wash themselves with soap. They rubbed their body with oil and scrubbed them clean. Rome's children. Baby played with clay rattle in the shape of animal. Toddlers played with marble and dolls. At about 7 years old, some boys and girls learned reading, writing, and arithmetic. They practiced writing the alphabet. They used a sharp point to scrape the letter on boards covered in wax. If they made a mistake, they smoothed the wax and started again. Lucky charm. When children were born, they were given a charm called a bulla. The charm was to keep them safe. Girls wore the charm until they were married. Boys wore there until they were 16. Some boys from rich families went on to learn about history, patriotism, and make speeches. Some girls learned how to run a house, how to sew, and how to play a musical instrument with strings called the chitara. What happened to Rome? Rome fought their enemies from hundreds of years. It was difficult to rule just a large empire. Various attacks the fort along the border, and some even attacked Rome. The city became less powerful and other people became kings. Many of the other things we do today starts in ancient Rome. The language we speak, our law, our buildings, even you cooking would not be the same without Rome. A worker uncovered the ruins of